Welcome to our online gathering of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Little Rock. I'm Laurie Smith-Perdome, a member of our congregation. Whoever you are and wherever you may be right now, we are so happy you are joining us. This is our service for Sunday, September 5th, 2021. And whether you're joining us on this day or at some other time, whether you're joining us from your home nearby or from somewhere else across the country or around the world, we are so happy to welcome you to our worshiping community. This morning we welcome to our virtual pulpit one of our own members, Rebecca Roetzel. Rebecca joined UUCLR 12 years ago and has been active in choir, religious education, worship arts, and illuminations. She is the Mission and Outreach Director at Ferncliff, part of which entails running a disaster assistance service in partnership with Church World Service. She and her husband and their 2 children live in Perryville, and she had dreams of attending seminary after college, but instead decided to move to Arkansas to volunteer for Heifer International. That's when she fell in love with Arkansas and became a UU. Welcome, Rebecca. If you have been joining us for a while and would like to learn more about our church, or if you feel like our church could be your spiritual home, please contact us at uuclr@uuclr.org. Our worship service will now begin.
Please join me in saying this morning's opening words, number 417 from Singing the Living Tradition by Barbara J. Peskin. For the beauty of the earth, this spinning blue-green ball, yes, Gaia, mother of everything, we walk gently across your back to come together again in this place. To remember how we can live, to remember who we are, to create how we will be. Gaia, our home, the lap in which we live. Welcome us.
I am Karen Walls, and I light this chalice with these words: immortal love, forever full, forever flowing free, forever shared, forever whole, a never-ending sea. Please join me in saying the affirmation of covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the ends that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine, thus do we covenant with each other.
when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we tell the story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Good morning. I am Rebecca Roetzel, and it is a pleasure to be with you this morning. Our first reading comes from our hymnal, Singing the Living Tradition, number 485, by Raymond J. Vaughn. Turn scarlet leaves, spin earth, tumble the shadows into dawn, spill stars across these skies, and hide them with the suns. Teach me to turn my sullen sense toward marvel. Let red and green and dark and day concur with the returning life I am.
I've been traveling down a long road, don't know where it's leading me. Guess I'll take it slow and easy for a while. I'm still working on this journey. It's been a good, eventful way. Friends and family stand beside me. They are with me every day. I have been up to the mountain, been down in the valley too. Life ebbs and flows like tidal waters, pulling, tugging on you. The journey never seems to end, but there are places where we stay. we can gather fruits of labor and share gifts along the way. But the long road somehow ceases. The journey surely has an end. Yet we must always be seeking. The journey now begins again. I have been up to the mountain, been down in the valley too. Life ebbs and flows like tidal waters, pulling, tugging on you. I have been up to the mountain, been down in the valley too. Life ebbs and flows like tidal waters, pulling, tugging on you.
Our time of meditation today comes from number 510 in our blue hymnal. These words were written to be read in the springtime, and though that was the author's intent, I feel like these words resonate with me right now. On one hand, because my garden is just past that scorching bit of summer where nothing is growing, and now the fall crops are popping up and new things are beginning to grow. On the other hand, because in this particular time of a pandemic when a vaccination is in hand and it seems like there should be some sort of end in sight. Or perhaps this reading speaks to the ever-present renewal that must take place within each of us in order to continue our quest for peace and truth and justice. Hear these words, a reading from Jane Roetzel. O Spirit of life and renewal, we have wintered long enough, mourned long enough, oppressed ourselves enough. Our souls are too long cold and buried, our dreams all but forgotten, and hopes unheard. We are waiting to rise from the dead. In this, the season of steady rebirth, we awaken to the power so abundant, so holy, that returns each year through earth and sky. We will find our hearts again, and our good spirits. We will love and believe and give and wonder and feel again the eternal powers. The flow of life moves ever onward through one faithful spring after another, and now another. May we be forever grateful. Alleluia. Amen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blowing the wind, rising the sea, moving the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots fully closed, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Our second reading this morning comes from our hymnal, again, number 556 in Singing the Living Tradition. This is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. These roses. These roses under my window make no reference to former roses or to better ones. They are for what they are. They exist with God today. There is no time to them. There is simply the rose. It is perfect in every moment of its existence. Before a leaf bud has burst, its whole life acts. In the full-blown flower, there is no more. In the leafless root, there is no less. Its nature is satisfied, and it satisfies nature in all moments alike. But we postpone or remember. We do not live in the present, but with reverted eye lament the past, or, heedless of the riches that surround us, stand on tiptoe to foresee the future. We cannot be happy or strong until we too live with nature in the present, above time.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. Gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
Summer is coming to a close. I can tell because I have stopped picking tomatoes from the vines in my backyard. 2 months ago, you would have found me hovering on the patio, just willing the fruits to ripen. And now I see the loaded vines and kind of cringe at the chore of picking them while feeling guilty knowing if I bring them in the house, they're just going to rot on my countertop. Back in May, I visited this farmer friend who had grown greenhouse tomatoes all winter long, quite successfully. So by the time summer rolled around, she was sick of them and thrilled that I was eager and ready to pick them all. On that very same visit, she sent me with like 9 quarts of strawberries and gave me a hard time that I only picked about a dozen huge stalks of gorgeous snapdragons from this huge field of them. "Is that all you're taking?" she chastised me. "Here," she continued, shoving armloads of onions and garlic into my van, which was a minute percentage of the stalks that were curing on literally every covered surface on her farm. This was her abundance, and she gave of it freely. I took of it graciously, and we both left feeling fulfilled. Similarly, a couple of weeks ago, my friend Paul called to let me know that his pear tree was loaded and I was welcome to come and take as much as I like, which I did. This was his abundance. My friend Sarah rarely lets us leave her house without sending us with 2 or 3 dozen eggs from her chickens. This is her abundance. I celebrate that Mike and I's community is connected to agricultural abundance. Friends who drop off extra seedlings in the spring, friends with local meat shares to claim, neighbors who drop off bags of seemingly endless greens and okra. Each of these agricultural exchanges leaves, I believe, both parties feeling filled. The abundance of summer harvest has me reflecting on 2 other concepts of abundance, which seem to be related but aren't really. I've struggled with this sermon. The first concept is the abundance mindset. This initially comes from a book written by Stephen Covey that's entitled The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Maybe you read it? It's a book that's meant to drive organizations into better management practices. This abundance mentality is simply defined as the opposite of a scarcity mindset. So, scarcity mindset is essentially seeing life as a finite pie, where if one person takes a big piece, there's less for everybody else. Abundance mindset refers to the paradigm that there is plenty out there for everybody. Cue Magic Penny. Scarcity mindset in a corporate world is limited promotions and raises and resources, which leads to information hoarding, micromanaging, and usually short-term thinking. The scarcity mindset in our personal lives would show up as fear, distrust. It's seeing everyday events as win-lose situations. It's hoarding toilet paper in a pandemic, taking more than you need, viewing others as unnecessary competition. The abundance mindset challenges us to only take what we need today and to not worry about tomorrow, to have faith in our community, to live with others saying, "You can't compete with me because I want you to win too." Abundance mentality in a specific example would be taking one snack item out of a gift basket of snacks in your break room because you only need one at that moment and you believe that there will still be snacks in that basket the next time you get hungry. A scarcity mindset would tell you to take the one you're going to eat now and then grab a handful more to shove in your desk just in case you get hungry later. And some of you might be thinking of your coworkers and seeing this type of behavior as a survival skill because, yes, this only works if everyone is following the same practice. A much more extreme example of the abundance mindset could be demonstrated by a couple of my friends. So about a decade ago, newly married, they were making financial decisions together and came to adopt a mentality of abundance when it came to their finances. They, with much thought and prayer and deliberation, decided not to keep excess income or invest in insurance, and instead invest their excesses of money and energy heavily into their immediate church and communities. A caring community is the best insurance anyone can have, my friend once told me. And in many ways, she is not wrong. This lifestyle served them very well for a while. It becomes hard to reconcile this sort of financial lifestyle with financial security of your children or our privatized healthcare system, which was certainly designed in scarcity, not abundance. And yet, I know fellow Americans who have resolved even these two large pieces of our common society by establishing whole communities with the shared mindset. These are friends, in particular, who belong to the Bruderhof communities. This is a common purse society that's mostly located in the Northeast. These are closed communities, which are designed so that the income is shared, all goods are procured and dispersed by the community for the community. The doctors and teachers and mechanics and food producers, they're all hired and trained and paid for by the common purse. College, trainings, trips, also paid for by the common purse. In many ways, it works, and it's simpler. The friends I have in these communities are very happy. They have a deep sense of purpose related to their direct contributions to their fellow community members. They seem to have much less stress in general. They know that whatever happens, they're going to be cared for and provided for by the strength and commitment of their community. I have been searching for a space to reside somewhere between the simple example of taking one snack from the break room and the extreme example of living in an entire community with the common purse idea. The third concept of abundance that I want to mention can most easily be found in a following of people who promote the abundance lifestyle with, 5 or 8 or 12 easy steps to achieving a more abundant life. I will admit that some of these sites and lists struck me as being a little bit hokey, but it's true that they usually do include several good common threads. I've tried to boil them down to 6, so here we go. 1 is recognizing the power of positive thinking and the words that you choose to speak. The idea that the thoughts we think and the words we use truly do shape and limit our reality. Number 2, practicing gratitude. Joanne spoke to this very well last Sunday. The abundance mindset encourages us to acknowledge what we have, not just our stuff, but our traits, skills, opportunities, communities. Number 3, similarly, choosing to focus on what we have, not what we lack, struggle with, or need when defining ourselves, to both ourselves and others. It's about emphasizing our positive, more abundant positive traits. Number 4, this naturally leads to number 4, which is training your mind to recognize possibilities more readily than focusing on the setbacks and the pitfalls. And number 4 leads to number 5, which is training your mind to create win-win scenarios, not the win-lose competitive scenarios that we often default to. Life is not pie. The last one, number 6, surrounding yourself with people who share your values and support the mindset of abundance. The scarcity mindset is highly contagious. So let's go back to Mike and I's agricultural community. It's important to note that we don't have anything agricultural to offer. It's not a trade or a barter. We're just recipients. And I love food, so that works. But for years, I felt like I needed to have something tangible to offer them in exchange. Of course, there is no expectation from someone giving of their abundance. And I too give of my abundance when I have it. My time, my talents, my energy. They give what they have when they have it too. Nobody is keeping score. My sister, Elizabeth, she's an MD. She tells her family members that she doesn't mind being called or consulted on health matters, no matter how trivial they seem to be. I thought that she was just being polite, but over the years, I have learned that she really means it. She enjoys being a part of the conversation, being helpful, bringing us comfort and solutions when she can. This is her abundance. My Aunt Nancy used to offer foot massages during family holidays as her gifts to us. I remember hesitating each year to cash in that offer as if it would be a gift to not make her touch my gross feet. But one year my mom took me aside and gave me a little bit of perspective, explaining to my junior high brain that this was Aunt Nancy's way of spending quality time with each of us. It was her chance for her to give of her gifts, which happened to be massage. And aside from her hands being absolutely magical, the one-on-one conversations that we had during the rub were always deeply meaningful and insightful. As an adult, I have sometimes been forward about requesting a foot rub during visits with my Aunt Nancy, not just because, foot rub, but because Nancy's eyes light up like she's just won $1 million. We are each abundant in something. Something we know or do or have, which we can almost give without reaching a threshold of burden. Something we're eager to share. Something we almost need to share in order to feel whole. Something where the giving of it almost brings us more joy than the keeping of it. When we give and receive of the abundances within our immediate communities, we strengthen them. Our worship theme this year is Building Beloved Community. I believe that all three of these threads of abundance can play a part. Consider the soap in my bathroom. I use it multiple times a day. It was made by my friend, Michelle. For a few years, she made goat milk soap, and she definitely had an abundance of it. To gift me a bar was probably no big thing. But now, this little piece of Michelle touches me literally every day. The act of washing my hands becomes a link to my friend. It places her in my thoughts. It creates a sense of gratitude. It reminds me to reach out and stay connected to her. This is true not because she gave of her abundance, but also because I was open to receive it and consciously embrace it as more than a bar of soap. Our relationship is strengthened. We give of our abundance within an abundance mindset and keep ourselves on track with the practices of the abundance lifestyle. That is the best way I can think of to link these concepts of abundance. Trying to weave them into a sensical sermon seriously makes my brain hurt. But it makes my heart feel full and easy. Like it's how we were designed to live and love. Cue Magic Penny again, because love is something When you give it away, you end up having more. Identify your abundance. Recognize the power of your thoughts. Practice gratitude. Focus on what you have. Be open to possibilities and find the win-win situation. Give as you would like to receive, and receive as you would give. We can build a beloved community where there is always enough pie to share. May it be so. Amen.
As is our custom, when we close our worship services, we speak words of hope for one another and for our world. Wherever you may be right now, please join us in saying our words of blessing. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings.